It's Super Saturday at Belmont Park, New York. 4 Grade 1 races worth over $1.1 million on the same card, showcasing 2-year-old fillies in the $100,000 Matron, 2-year-old colts in the $100,000 Futurity, turf specialist in the $400,000 Man o' War, and older handicap stars shine in the $500,000 Woodward. Final event in the American Championship Racing Series with $900,000 more in bonus checks to be cashed. It's Super Saturday in New York. We're live at a rainy Belmont Park on Long Island, the home of New York's Fall Championship of Thoroughbred Racing, on a day that showcases some of this sport's best with a lineup of 4 Grade 1 races. And hello again, everyone. I'm Chris Lincoln. Welcome to Belmont, a track that's used to showcasing and crowning champions in the fall. That's the idea behind Super Saturday. We are now 7 weeks away from the Breeders' Cup, coming up November 6th at Santa Anita. Let's take a look at some of our stars of racing here this afternoon. And we'll start with the Man o' War and the star of the turf, Star of Cozine. First or second in 9 starts this year. Just won the Arlington Million, earner of more than $1.8 million. Then the 2-year-old the nation's been waiting to see. This is De Hare, the 2-year-old sensation, the first juvenile in 77 years. To suit Saratoga's top 3 2-year-old races, he's undefeated, but must run on a sloppy track for the first time today. The Matron features the best juvenile filly in the East. Strategic maneuver, flying on the outside here. The daughter of Crypto Clearance, undefeated in 3 starts, including here the Grade 1 Spinaway. And in today's feature, the $500,000 Woodward, Devil Is Due goes for the title and a $550,000 bonus. The final event of the American Championship Racing Series. Well, the weather, it is pouring rain here this afternoon at Belmont Park, New York. And let's take a look at track conditions. Well, there you get a good look. Sloppy is what we call that. You see our cameraman walking along the main course right now, and the turf course open as soft. So the weather is not super, but I guarantee you the racing is. Welcome to Super Saturday in New York. ESPN presents Budweiser Racing Across America. Brought to you by Budweiser. Fresh, pure, natural, proud to be your Bud. By the Daily Racing Form, America's Turf Authority. King Cobra, the king of oversized irons and woods. Oversized confidence, oversized power. And by the Breeders' Cup, the best 10 years in racing. We welcome you back on Super Saturday at Belmont. The heavy rain has let up just a little bit. We're going to be bringing you all 4 Grade 1 races today. We'll have 2 of them live for you, the Man o' War and the Woodward, and then 2 on tape earlier today, the Matron and the Futurity. Let's set the conditions now for our first live race coming up. It's the Man o' War. This, the 35th running. Grade 1, $400,000 on a soft turf course. It's thoroughbreds 3 and up, going 1 mile and 3/8. Well, to set the scene here at Belmont, the man who calls the races in New York, and for us this afternoon, let's go to the top of the stands into a special little room for our announcer, Tom Durkin.
Welcome to my world. This is my tiny little announcer's booth high above Big Belmont, very much unlike my cozy little nest at Saratoga, where I can actually talk to the jockeys in the post parade. See you later for dinner tonight. Okay. Well, here at Belmont, if I want to communicate with the jockeys, I have to use flags like a signal corpsman in the Navy. But what Belmont lacks in intimacy, it more than makes up for in fairness. It is not only America's biggest racetrack, it is America's fairest racetrack. At 1.5 miles in circumference, today we will see the 2-year-olds in the Matron and the Futurity run 7 furlongs. Like most tracks, it'll be around 1 turn. But that 1 turn here is a very gentle one. You don't have to tiptoe your way around it. You can run at top speed if you want. In the 1 1/8 Woodward, they will run straight down this colossal backstretch for 5 furlongs before negotiating but 1 turn. The fewer the turns, the less the chance of bad racing luck. Today's Man o' War will be run on the 1 3/16 inner turf course. It's America's 3rd biggest track, and no need to hustle and bump your way for position into the first turn. It's a long way before you get there, more than 3 furlongs. At most tracks, it would take 3 turns to accommodate the 11 furlongs of the Man o' War, but at Big Belmont, it's only 2 turns. The founding fathers of New York racing wanted to build a track where championships were decided not by racing luck, but by the horse that got to the wire first. And that's what Belmont is.
Thank you, Tom. Joining me now, another one of America's premier race callers, voice of the Triple Crown, Dave Johnson. Dave, everything's super about the day, except the weather.
Well, this is Belmont Park, not Jurassic Park, and we were hit with a savage storm here on the eastern seaboard on Thursday night. There was a little bit of damage to the far turn here. Management took the right course. They canceled racing on Friday. They repaired the problems and now manicured it, and it is 100% safe and ready for the racing today, as we saw in earlier contests.
Our first live race is the Man of War, of course, carries the name of one of the legends of the American turf.
He beat every horse they ever brought to him. Oh, I'm sure somebody will say, oh, but he was upset by upset at Saratoga. But Man of War came back and beat upset 6 more times in their brief career. So Man of War was the mostest horse. He beat every horse they ever brought to him, and the quality of this field reflects the quality of Man of War. Here is the field for the Man of War. Spectacular Tide at 17 with Jerry Bailey. Furiously at 8 with Kent DeSormo. Dear Doctor with a new jockey, Gary Stevens, at 6-1. The horse who won this race the last 2 years, Solar Splendor, was scratched. He won't take the soft going. Star of Cozine, 4-5. Jose Santos riding. The horse who was the morning line favorite, Bien Bien, is at 6-1 as we speak with Chris McCarron riding. Sarant, the French horse, up to 9-2 with Mike Smith and 2 long shots. Dr. Kiernan with Chris Antley at 15. Antarctic Wings with Robbie Davis at 65.
Well, our Man of War horse is about to go over to the turf course now. Let's set up the favorite, Star of Cozine. Rumors earlier in the week he might be sold by Team Valor. He runs in their colors today. We talked earlier with their young trainer, Mark Hennig, though, about Star of Cozine's Arlington Million victory, and it was a troubled one.
Yeah, well, when Jose dropped to the inside going into the turn and then the horses all began to pass us one by one, I wasn't feeling real good about our chances. But he's a powerful horse, and he's probably the fastest finishing horse on the grass we've seen in a lot of years. So, once he got out, I felt very confident that he'd kick it into gear and get there, but I didn't expect him to draw off and win by 3.
You're looking at Star of Cozine, the 5-horse there on the Team Valor green and red curly favorite at 4-5. He's beaten all comers in the American turf. But what about foreign invaders? Well, Sarant has come over, undefeated in his last 9 races. Here are the comments from the foreign expert of the Daily Racing Forum, Alan Schubeck.
Sarant is 3 for 3 over today's distance, 1 mile 3 furlongs, and this is a European type soft course we have here today, and he's raced over that kind of course many times. He also holds decisions over 2 horses that have defeated Loiser, who recently defeated Kodashan in the Del Mar Handicap. Now, Kodashan holds 2 decisions over Bien Bien, and that puts Sarant at least a length in front of Bien Bien. With the conditions the way they are today, I think Andre Fabre and Sarant will have no excuses.
Defending champion Solar Splendor has been scratched. Let's go to the top of the stands and Tom Durkin.
Well, Sarant, making his first start in the United States, is a little reluctant in behind the starting gate. There you see the colors of Daniel Wildenstein. Who's going to go to the front here? That's probably not much of a question. Furiously, who's got the speed to do it. He's running on 1 mile 3/8 in the grass today. Last year, you recall, he had enough speed to go in the Breeders' Cup Sprint. There's one more horse behind the starting gate. That is Antarctic Wings. Again, a very long run before they hit the first of 2 turns here in these 1 mile 3/8 races. They're going 3 furlongs before they hit the turn. They're in the gate, and they're off. And Furiously comes out smoothly to the lead. Dear Doctor is right there with him in the early going. Star of Cozine is gathered back. Antarctic Wings is coming up. And with some initiative here is Antarctic Wings to take a short lead. But Furiously is right there. And they're stride for stride under the line the first time. Dear Doctor is running along in 3rd. Dr. Kiernan is 4th in the outside. Star of Cozine is in behind horses and saving ground in 5th. Sarant, the French gelding, is now 6th. He's about 8 lengths from the leader, Antarctic Wings. And near the back of the pack are Bien Bien, and Spectacular Tide is the trailer. The opening quarter went in 24-4 over the soft going. Antarctic Wings now taking a clear lead from Furiously. Dear Doctor is rating nicely in 3rd position. Dr. Kiernan galloping along at an easy pace on the outside 4th. Star of Cozine is covered up in behind horses in 5th. It's 2 lengths back to Sarant, who's now about 7 lengths from the lead. He's followed by Bien Bien. Spectacular Tide is the trailer. 50 3/5 seconds for the opening half mile. They continue the run up the backstretch now. 6 furlongs left. The leader is Antarctic Wings. Furiously has a clear aim on the outside. Dear Doctor has had a perfect trip while saving ground. Dr. Kiernan. Now Serant is moving early. Serant is moving with more than 5 furlongs to run, and he's moving toward the lead. Star of Cozine has switched to the outside for clear running now as they approach the far turn. And now Furiously is taken over as Antarctic Wings drops back. But Serant is right there to his outside. Serant and Furiously hooking up in a duel on the turn. Dr. Kiernan is third. Star of Cozine is 4 lengths from the lead. And Santos is asking him for more run. Dear Doctor is fifth toward the inside, and he's still in with a chance. And farther back, it's BNBN. Spectacular Tide is well behind as they move toward the top of the stretch. Serant has a short lead. It's Serant by a neck. Furiously digging down. Star of Cozine uncorking his rally on the outside. And Dear Doctor is there. And Dr. Kiernan, they're passing the 8th pole. Serant is in front. And Star of Cozine is there on the outside. Dear Doctor between them. And it's Star of Cozine in front. Star of Cozine turned it on in the stretch. And he'll win here going away. Serant, Dear Doctor, and Dr. Kiernan battle for the runner-up spot. But no doubt about the winner, Star of Cozine. And as he has done time and time again, Star of Cozine at the top of the stretch was maneuvered into striking position. Santos asked him for a run, and he got it with another electrifying run through the stretch. The time here was 2 minutes and 23 seconds flat. That's 13 seconds off the course record, but considering the soft condition today, not bad at all. Chris?
The 5-year-old son of Cozine, Star of Cozine, has just gone well over the $2 million mark in his career earnings. Owned by Team Valor, that's Barry Irwin and Jeff Siegel. Trained by Mark Hennig. Dave Johnson, bring us home with him.
Well, one word comes to mind when you watch Star of Cozine in a turf race. Sudden. He is sudden. He just explodes through the stretch. The French horse, Serant, looked like he was going to get home here, as Mike Smith had the horse number 7 on the inside. But Star of Cozine, with powerful strides, just goes on to win another one. It's a photo for the place, but Star of Cozine is there again.
Now you see why he is the #1 ranked thoroughbred in America. 10 starts in 1993, 6 wins and 4 seconds. This is a real racing star. ESPN welcomes you back to Belmont Park in Elmont, New York on Super Saturday, and there is Jose Santos, the rider of a real superstar, Star of Cozine, unofficial winner of the Man of War, the $400,000 turf race here at Belmont today. The running time 2:23 over the soft turf course. Serant was very impressive in his first U.S. start coming from France, the 9-race win streak. There you see Jose Santos as he weighs in. They'll make it official, and Tom Durkin has a look at just how Jose and the Star did it.
He did it from coming just off the pace. He is now 4th in your picture. He's on the outside wearing a red cap and green silks. Serant is now 2nd. In no particular hurry at this point to overtake Furiously. You can see jockey Mike Smith fairly motionless on Serant. But while he's about to overtake Furiously, Jose Santos is beginning to rev up Star of Cozine. Serant, there you see Mike Smith still conserving the blue silk Serant while in hand as they come to the top of the stretch. But what's coming on the outside? Here is when Santos goes to work on Star of Cozine, the horse on the outside with that wide shadow rope. Serant, now Smith is finally going to the whip, but once Star of Cozine gets rolling, there's no stopping him. Voted this last week in the TRC poll as the #1 rated horse in the country, he did nothing today to change his status. Star of Cozine on top once again, beating a horse that hasn't lost in his last time 9 times out in Serant. He was a good one, and he ran well today. Chris?
All right, Serant with an unbelievable performance. That run for second. You mentioned he is a gelding. He can't run in the Group 1 races in Europe. Came over to challenge here, but he couldn't beat America's best. Star of Cozine or his rider, Jose Santos. Dave's with him now.
Hey, this is a pretty nice paycheck.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Especially with this horse. He's like a train, you know, and I don't want to take any chance today, and I went to the outside by the 5/8 pole and stay in the clear, and I think the best part of the grass right now is in the outside, you know, because
well, we're going to watch you come through the stretch in the red cap on the outside.
yeah, I don't have any doubt about it today. And
Not worried about the French horse?
no worry about it. I was right behind him, like 2 or 3 lanes in behind him, and I let him go nice and easy. And I came to the outside, and I'm asking whatever he have, and he give me whatever he have. And I mean, he's such a enjoyable to ride this horse. You know, he's so powerful, so strong, and it's no question in my mind he's the best grass horse in the country, especially even in Europe. I don't think any horse coming from anywhere came to New York and beat this horse.
5 times this guy's ridden him, 4 times he's won with him. You bet he's happy. Star of Cozine's rider, Jose Santos. Chris?
All right, now congratulations to Jose Santos, to the 28-year-old conditioner, Mark Hennig. What a tremendous job he has done. And Team Valor, they really want to sell this horse? The price may just have gone up on Star of Cozine, America's best, maybe the world's best turf horse on Super Saturday in New York. Budweiser Racing Across America welcomes you back to Super Saturday at Belmont Park, New York. And with me now is a gentleman who, despite the weather today, has to enjoy this racing afternoon. Jerry McEwen, he's the president of the New York Racing Association. What a great concept. 4 grade ones on a single afternoon of racing.
It's terrific. You know, the rain doesn't mean anything to me today. I'm smiling right through it.
Jerry, you've just coming off, and the smile should still be there from the Saratoga meeting, breaking all kinds of records.
It was the best race meeting held in America anytime, any place, and it's really reassuring to all of us in racing that the sport is alive and kicking. It was a great meet, spilled over here to Belmont Park. We brought some of the stars with us, and we're having another great meet here.
Jerry, as always, great to be here. Congratulations on your Super Saturday. A great display of thoroughbred racing.
It is. This is the 2nd year in a row we're doing it. It's become an annual fixture, and a great one at that.
Jerry McEwen, the president of the New York Racing Association. Grade 1 thoroughbred racing here on ESPN this afternoon. We'll have Grade 1 college football for you tonight. It's the #1 ranked Florida State Seminoles. They'll be taking on the North Carolina Tar Heels in Chapel Hill tonight. Wow, what a way to start Super Saturday for us, Dave, with a great performance by Star of Cozine. I guess the only note to take away from this Super Day, besides a little bit of rain, has to be that this is the final event of the American Championship Racing Series, and I believe one of the great innovations this sport has seen in the last 3 years.
And I think we'll look back on the ACRS, the American Championship Racing Series, as a sort of Camelot. Not because of the statistics, 28 televised races at 9 different racetracks and over $23 million in purse and bonus money, but because of the thrills over these past 3 years. And in the first 2 years, we had lots of them. Let's take a look. February 1991, Jolie's Halo romps to an 8-length victory in the Don Handicap, and the ACRS was off and running. In late summer, Horse of the Year to be Black Tie Affair scored his first Grade 1 win by taking the Island at Monmouth Park. And in the Woodward, In Excess, earned the victory, but second finisher Farm Away and third place Festine wound up with most of the ACRS bonus money. Then in 1992, all-time ACRS earnings leader Best Pal won the Oak Lawn Handicap with a dramatic surge through the stretch. While in Maryland, the enigmatic Strength to Gold flashed his Kentucky Derby form in the Pimlico Special, setting the stage for his 1992 ACRS bonus point title. Meanwhile, back at the Island, old ACRS favorite Jolie's Halo returned to the winner's circle with a hard-fought victory in just the kind of finish that has typified the American Championship Racing Series.
Wow, what thrills. And before we come back and make Star of Cozine's race official in the Man Award, Dave, we want to look ahead a bit to our next live race. That is the Woodward Stakes. Final event in the American Championship Racing Series this year, just as it was in 1991. And the conditions of racing show this 40th Woodward is Grade 1, $500,000 guaranteed in the purse. It's thoroughbreds 3 and up, going 1 mile and an eighth. And in the previous 39 runnings, you think of the 3-time winner Kelso, a 4-time winner Forgo, some great racing memories.
I also remember in 1980, only one horse took to the track. Spectacular bid. Nobody wanted to challenge him. It was a walkover, but no walkover today. Here's the field for the 93 Woodward. We start with the entry from Bobby Frankel's barn. Bertrando and Missionary Ridge have come east with Gary Stevens and Eddie Delahousie to ride. 8-5, the morning line favorite for that pair. Valley Crossing starts at 6 with Chris Antley. West by West with Jean-Luc Samin at 5-2. Second choice in the morning line is Devil Is Due with Herb McCauley at 2. And the only 3-year-old in the contest, Miner's Mark, 6-1, Chris McCarron rides.
So the ACRS gets a final field in its racing history of 6. I don't think they could have had a better finish.
It was exactly the scenario that they had hoped for. The 4 top point leaders come right down here to determine the winner. Not just the Woodward Trophy or the money or the championship implications, but the ACRS title is on the line. It'll be decided at the finish line.
Let's take a look at what's waiting at the finish line. Besides the first breakdown of the $500,000 Woodward, here is the $900,000 bonus payoff for the American Championship Racing Series, $550,000 check to the winner. And as Dave said, it is up for grabs between these 4. Here are the 4-point leaders after 8 events. Devil is due on top of 31. Note Missionary Ridge there, but 24 points. His trainer, Bobby Franco from California, said he wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the American Championship Racing Series. Well, before we go to the break, let's make the Man of War official for you now. Star of Cozine, Sarant from France second, and Dr. Kiernan runs third. That's official for the Man of War. Back at Belmont Park, and you're looking at the tractors as they're floating the racetrack. The main track preparing for the 8th race. That's our Woodward Stakes coming up live here in just a bit for you. But first, on our Super Saturday coverage from Belmont, let's take you back earlier today to the 5th race. Here are the conditions for the Grade 1 Matron as we feature the 2-year-old fillies. The purse, $100,000. It's 7/8 of a mile. Now, 24 past Matron winners have been voted the 2-year-old filly champion of that year. As we look at the field going today with final odds, maybe we have another champion here, Dave.
Yeah, and remember that Sky Beauty took this race last year. Well, Asta's Foxy Lady is the most raced of the horses in here. Craig Perrette rides 5-1 at post time. Dixie Brat was scratched. Princess True was 44-1 at post time with Jorge Chavez. Wonderland with Jerry Bailey, who closed at 37. Sovereign Kitty with John Velazquez at 10. Officer Fallon, an undefeated horse from Rockingham, 2 wins and 2 starts with Rudy Bays, closed at 7-2. Lady Hunter, lightly raced, 22-1 with Richard Migliori. The 4-5 choice is a 3-time winner in 3 starts, including the spin-away in the Schuylerville. Jose Santos Road Strategic Maneuver at 4-5. The Bink with Eddie Maple completed the field at 6.
And now let's go. Earlier this afternoon, Tom Durkin's call of the Matron.
And they're off. Officer Fallon comes out running to get the early lead, but Princess True is right there, and so is Asta's Foxy Lady, who now takes charge. It's Asta's Foxy Lady by a neck. Princess True pressing second. The Bink is on the move early, now running third. Officer Fallon has dropped back to 4th. Strategic Maneuver now moving into 4th on the outside. Wonderland is 5th. On the inside, Officer Fallon has now dropped back to 6th. Then on the outside, it's Lady Hunter, followed by Sovereign Kitty, the trailer. The opening quarter, 22 seconds flat. Around the far turn, Asta's Foxy Lady is pursued in earnest by Princess True. 2.5 lengths back, and here comes Strategic Maneuver on the rail, and she's coming on strongly with Asta's Foxy Lady, who runs a half in 45-2. Strategic Maneuver continues with a strong rally on the outside, and they are head-to-head as they approach the top of the stretch, and the Bink is 5 lengths back in 3rd. Sovereign Kitty is 4th as they turn for home, and Strategic Maneuver comes roaring off the turn, leaving Asta's Foxy Lady behind. Then the Bink and Sovereign Kitty, and they're coming down to the final 16th. Strategic Maneuver will be impressive once again. The filly, a flawless 4 for 4. A good-looking effort here. Strategic Maneuver by 10. Asta's Foxy Lady was 2nd, and Sovereign Kitty was 3rd.
Wow, was that impressive. Strategic Maneuver from the first crop of Crypto Clearance. Daughter of Crypto Clearance remains undefeated, winning in 123-4. Asta's Foxy Lady 2nd. Sovereign Kitty was 3rd. Dave, your comments on that performance?
Well, it was very fast early, but she finished so beautifully. Now, there's a real good 2-year-old filly on the West Coast, Sardula, waiting for a matchup with Strategic Maneuver. Everybody had thought that Sardula was the big horse before, but maybe there are 2 now 2-year-old fillies we should look at.
Strategic Maneuver owned by Phil Tynemouth and half ownership of the trainer Scotty Schulofer. I asked Scotty right after the race, is this the best 2-year-old filly you've ever trained?
Well, she's got to be one of them. I've trained some good ones like Tapiano as a 2-year-old. She won just about everything except the Breeders' Cup. She was 2nd. but she's doing great, and I'm hoping she'll be the best.
Let's talk about her running style. She seems very versatile.
She is. She can do almost anything. She went 3/4. I think when the farther they go, the better she's going to like it. She's back crypto clearance, and he liked to go 1.25 miles as far as they wanted to go.
For the Breeders' Cup, it looks like a showdown with an undefeated filly in the West, Sardula.
Well, that's what it looks like. We are undefeated too, so we'll see what happens.
And there she is, Strategic Maneuver, the undefeated filly. She'll have another race here in New York and then on to the Breeders' Cup. The owner of the month in thoroughbred racing, John Franks. What a month he had. We'll preview him in the digest at 6 o'clock Monday. ESPN welcomes you back to Belmont Park. You're looking live at a shot of the racing chute where the Woodward Stakes will begin in just a bit. You see the tractors. That group's been the hardest working group around New York right now. Let's go back earlier today, the 6th race in the afternoon card and the oldest run on Super Saturday day. That is the Futurity. Let's take a look at the race conditions now as we feature the 2-year-olds. Again, going 7/8 of a mile, $100,000. The 104th running, all eyes on De Hare. I know you've been waiting to see De Hare. Well, let's take a look at him. You've heard about the Wonder Colt. Well, no, not quite yet. There's De Hare, the Wonder Player. The player that gave him the name De Hare, the racehorse, Terry De Hare, the All-American from Seton Hall. He'll be playing now for the San Diego Clippers as he was the #1 draft pick there. All right, let's take a look at the field for the race earlier today. The Futurity with the superstar De Hare. Dave?
And we had 3 undefeated horses going into this race. Sacred Honor, 4 for 4 from Benny Perkins' barn, 12-1 for that undefeated. Holy Bull, second choice at 3. Sir Joe at 55. Scratch Tabasco Cat. The 2-5 shot De Hare, winner of the 3 big 2-year-old races at Saratoga and his maiden race. So he was 4 for 4 going in. Slew Gin Fizz at 5. Prenup at 34-1. Arrival time was an early scratch.
And the question, how will De Hare do with his newest challenge, a sloppy racetrack? Let's get the answers. We go earlier to the call of the Futurity, again with Tom Durkin.
And they're off. And it's Holy Bull, who's away quickly. On the outside, Prenup is right there. Then Sacred Honor toward the inside. De Hare was off a beat slowly and now moves up 4th in between horses. Slew Gin Fizz on the outside and Sir Joe. Tight pack chasing Holy Bull up the backstretch. The leader by a length. On the outside, Prenup is right there, 2nd, and De Hare is in and among horses, now 3rd. And toward the inside, Sacred Honor. Slew Gin Fizz has clear running on the extreme outside, and lagging behind the rest is Sir Joe. The quarter went in 22-2, and they're rounding the far turn. Holy Bull leads by 1.5 lengths from Prenup, who's 2nd. De Hare is 5 lengths off of Holy Bull as they move midway round the far turn. Slew Gin Fizz to his outside. Then farther back at Sacred Honor, Sir Joe is the trailer. The half in 45 3/5 seconds. They're moving toward the top of the stretch. Holy Bull and Prenup. De Hare, and now McCarron is asking for more run from De Hare. He's 4 lengths and behind, and he's under the whip, chasing Holy Bull, who comes off the turn, opening up here under a hand ride. It's Holy Bull by 2.5 lengths. Prenup is 2nd, and De Hare is getting on track, and here he comes on the outside, but he has to catch Holy Bull with less than a furlong to run. De Hare on the outside is 2nd, as Holy Bull continues to hold on. De Hare giving his all as they come down to the line, and it is Holy Bull. Holy Bull holds on by a diminishing half length. De Hare closed well in the final furlong, but he was defeated today, and Prenup finished 3rd.
Holy cow, what an upset. Holy Bull beats De Hare, and there is Holy Bull. We still have an undefeated colt. It's Holy Bull, though, at 3 for 3 now. Owned and trained by Jimmy Kroll. The time, 1:23-1. De Hare 2nd after closing well. Prenup finishes 3rd in a driving rainstorm. Let's take another look at the Futurity.
And take note that the half-mile time was a 2nd and a 5th slower than the fillies ran in the Matron. On the inside here, Holy Bull had the rail, had the early lead, and as Tom Durkin called, De Hare getting on track on the outside. But the finish time, the final time, was faster than the fillies, 1:23-1. This is some racehorse, Holy Bull, and this is some rivalry we might be having as Holy Bull and De Hare hit the wire just about, make it a half length apart, Chris.
Well, I think Holy Bull stock goes up as you see Mike Smith bring him into the winner's circle for owner-trainer Jimmy Kroll. For De Hare, all right, a sloppy racetrack. He's still an outstanding racing prospect. Looking live at the current race favorite for the Woodward in the white and blue silks, that is Bertrando, part of the Bobby Franco train entry, just become the favorite here for the Woodward Stakes. Let's show you all the odds now here at the track. Bertrando, Missionary Ridge coupled at 4-5. Valley Crossing 13, West by West at 4. Devil is Due, the morning line favorite, now 3-1, and Miner's Mark, the 3-year-old, getting real support at 7-2. Now let's pick up our long shot selection for the Woodward Stakes.
It's tough to find a long shot with only 5 betting interests, but we'll take number 3, West by West, for 3 reasons as our Bud long shot. He loves Belmont Park. He's 5 for 6 at this track. He loves an off track. He ran well as a 3-year-old on these kind of wet surfaces, and today's distance, 1.1 miles, is his best. As a bonus, he gets blinkers back on, so maybe he'll be closer than he's been lately. So go to the windows. Go West Young Man, this year's Nassau County Handicap West by West, today's Budweiser long shot.
West by West at 4-1 as the Budweiser long shot today in the Woodward. But again, the favorite is Bertrando. Gary Stevens in to ride again. No question Bertrando will be at the front end. He's the speed horse. We asked Gary how you get him to relax, though.
Well, he's actually a very easy horse to get to relax. He's a very intelligent horse, and anytime he's in front on his own, he is relaxed. It's when he's getting that pressure that he gets on the bridle a little bit, but anytime he opens up and establishes a half-length lead, he drops the bridle and he relaxes for you. So I don't see any problem getting him to relax. It's just getting a good clean break, getting him away from there, getting run on his mind, and just letting him more or less set his own pace. Bobby has complained in the past with other riders trying to take too much hold of him, trying to slow him down too much. That's taken away his best asset, and that's his speed. So I'm going to let him bounce away from there, let him show his speed, and make the others play catch-up with him.
Bertrando, first, second, or third in his 3 ACRS races. We just saw him win the Pacific Classic, and again, he's currently 4th in the point standings. Remember, any 4 can clinch this championship. Devil is Due, if he finishes first, second, or third, though, clinches the title. Bertrando giving him some problems. There is Miner's Mark, the 3-year-old.
And I'm surprised that he is as low on the odds board. He was 4-1 just a second ago. The only 3-year-old in the race gets a 5-pound weight concession, but there's no doubt about the Frankel strategy here. Bertrando goes to the front. He is certainly the speed in this race, and Missionary Ridge comes from behind and tries to pick up all the pieces on this sloppy track.
Stakes record 145-4, Forgo and Dispersal. Forgo, by the way, with 135 pounds, and Secretary with a track record of the Marlboro Cup in 73. Loading them up for the Woodward, and Tom Durkin ready for the call.
Well, there you see that good look at the sloppy track here today. It's been suggested that we call today Soupy Saturday. Well, it's super nonetheless. They're in the gate, and we're ready for a start, and they're off, and Bertrando bounces right out to the lead. Missionary Ridge is away second and will concede the early lead to his stablemate Bertrando, who has quickly opened up, and Gary Stevens lets him roll to a 3.5-length lead. But Herb McCauley will keep Devil is Due within striking range. They're second on the outside. Valley Crossing third. Miner's Mark with clear running on the extreme outside. Then it's West by West, and Missionary Ridge trying to take hold of the track early is the trailer. Bertrando leads by 5, coasting on an uncontested lead. A dazzling opening quarter in 22-4. 6 furlongs left. Bertrando all alone down the backstretch, leading by 5.5 lengths. Devil is Due and West by West are running together, second and third. Valley Crossings being nudged along in 4th. A sharp and demanding half-mile in 45-3 set by Bertrando, who continues to lead the way. McCauley now beginning to help Devil is Due along. On the outside, Valley Crossing is running third. Miner's Mark is still 6 lengths from the lead, and then they round the far turn with Bertrando leading by 3 lengths now. Devil is Due beginning to edge closer second. Valley Crossing is now running in third. West by West is retreating into 4th. Miner's Mark and Missionary Ridge. It's been Bertrando the whole way, and he's still coasting on the lead by 3.5 as he comes off the turn here at Belmont. It is Bertrando opening up again to a 5-length lead. Devil is Due is running second, and Valley Crossing is third. Passing the 8th pole, isolated is Bertrando, and he will go on to a wire-to-wire victory in this 40th Woodward. It Valley Crossing was third. The time for the race was 1 minute 47 seconds flat. Bertrando, Gary Stevens just let him run his own race today. Strong on the lead. The three-quarter mark was 109.4. No test for him at all this afternoon. Chris?
Just like Gary Stevens, the rider, you see that Bertrando set it up for us. He's, I'm going to let him bounce out there and try to see if they can catch me. They couldn't. Bertrando just kept going. He did what he had to do, but so did Devil Is Due. He ran second, which means Devil Is Due is the final champion of the American Championship Racing Series. He'll earn the bonus check of $550,000, with a $300,000 winner check for the Woodward goes to Bertrando. We welcome you back to Belmont Park, New York on Super Saturday as you're taking a look at Bertrando, unofficial winner of the $500,000 Woodward Stakes. And coming up next, right after our racing super telecast here, PGA Tour Golf, the Hardee's Golf Classic at Oakwood Country Club in Coal Valley, Illinois. And that continues with third round play right after our telecast this afternoon. Well, Gary Stevens makes the long trip from California, did just what he said he'd do, send Bertrando to the lead and see if they could catch him. And they couldn't. We'll take a look at just how Bertrando did it wire to wire in the Woodward.
Anxious moment. If he did, it was somewhere nearing the top of the stretch. He ran a half mile here in 45 3/5 seconds. For most horses, that would be enough to give them an excuse to get tired in the late going. This, about 3 lengths, was about as close as Devil His Due was ever going to get to Bertrando this afternoon. Even right after they came out of the starting gate, he was in front by that much. Some of the keys for Bertrando, does he like Belmont? Well, he ran here earlier this year in the Met Mile. He did finish second, but it was probably the best losing effort by any horse in America this year. And of course, in the San Fernando over a sloppy track at Santa Anita last January, he romped much the same way he did today, winning by 9 lengths that day. I called the margin 10. It could have been even more than that, but no doubt about it. And Devil Is Due, well, he finished second, but he'll pick up over $600,000 for doing so. Chris?
Owned by Marshall Napies 505 Farms and Edward Nahum, who's also the breeder. He's by Skywalker out of the Buffalo Lark mare, Gentle Hands, brilliantly trained by the nation's leading trainer, Bobby Frankel. Right now, though, Dave Johnson's with a pretty fair race rider. True.
Oh, this horse is unbelievable. He moves up in the mud. He's a great horse anyway, but when it come up muddy, I mean, it was all over but the crying. This horse, he loves it. He thrives in it. I just tried to stay out of his way.
The crying from the other riders by not getting his mount.
No, definitely not. I was pleased to pick him up 2 races back. He's just cruising, just floating the whole way. I shook him up a little bit at the quarter pole, and he just rebroke. It was like he jumped in at the quarter pole and just kept accelerating through the stretch.
If the sun would have been out, there would have been a lot of daylight between you and Devil Is Due.
Yeah, definitely. So when I stood up at the wire, I was really surprised to see the margin that he had won by. I knew he was running, but I expected them to be a little bit closer than what they were.
Could you hear anything coming from behind?
No, all you can hear is splashing, and it's kind of funny because the splashing that you do hear, you don't know if it's your own horse causing the splashing or the horse is coming from behind. But one thing I was taught early is not to do a whole lot of looking back. I checked one time there at the 16th pole, didn't see anybody, but he just stayed busy on him, kept him doing what he was doing.
Congratulations, Gary Stevens, who rode Bertrando to victory. They need you for the presentation. Chris?
Let's make it official. Bertrando on 147. Devil Is Due second. That's good enough to clinch the ACRS bonus check. Valley Crossing running third. Bertrando wins the last 2 ACRS races, though, the Classic and the Woodward. We're back at Belmont Park after the Woodward Stakes, the final event in our Super Saturday here on ESPN. And the presentation about to be made for the final time in the American Championship Racing Series. I'd like to introduce their president and founder, Barry Weisborn.
Thank you, Chris. And first, we'd like to thank ESPN and ABC for their great support in this series right all the way through. And we have a special moment. Bill Condren, last year's winner, co-owner of Strike the Gold, is assisting me in presenting this year's Crystal Trophy and a check for $550,000 to Edith LaBeauty. Tremendous year with Devil Is Due. He started with us in March, right the way through to the Woodward. Ran great today. 2 wins, 2 seconds. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Edith, a quick word from you now. The future for Devil Is Due. He's been so consistent. That shows by him winning the American Championship Series. What's next?
The Breeders' Cup. We're going to go for it all the way.
Well, congratulations. $550,000 check today, a second-place check for the Woodward, and he that says heading to the Breeders' Cup Classic. Let's go to Dave Johnson now with the winning trainer today, Bertrando's Bobby Frankel.
Bobby, were you happy to see the rain?
Yeah, I was, because he only ran once in the slop and he won by 9 lengths, so it looked like the same track that he had at Santa Anita that day.
And I guess you're a little sorry to see the ACRS fold up.
Yes, because I picked up a lot of money in it and a lot of bonus money, and it's been really, really good to me.
And you were watching Missionary Ridge as well as Bertrando.
Well, at the 316 pole, I knew Bertrando was home, and I was rooting for Missionary Ridge to get third, because that was another $125,000 plus the purse money, so that cost us a lot of money, that photo that he got beat.
Hey, keep shipping your horses cross country, though, okay?
Thank you.
Okay, congratulations, Bobby Frankel, the trainer of Bertrando. Back to you, Chris.
Hey, who says you can't come home? Bobby Frankel, the New Yorker, has come home as America's #1 trainer and won this final ACRS event with Bertrando. Let's take a look at the points now for this final year of the American Championship Series. Devil is Due wins it with 38 points with a second-place finish today to go along with victories earlier in the Gulfstream Handicap and the Pimlico Special. Bertrando comes up to finish second, winning 2 straight. Valley Crossing, the Island winner, with 30 points, finishing in third position there. So our congratulations again to Bertrando for the Woodward connections, but also once again, I think, for Barry Weisport in the American Championship Racing Series. His entire staff. It's been a great concept of racing. We want to congratulate him on that. Well, we hope you've enjoyed our Super Saturday, and get ready. Coming up next for us will be a Super Derby. It's the richest 3-year-old event of the fall, $750,000 at stake at Louisiana Downs in Bossier City, Louisiana. We'll be there October 2nd, 3:30 live. Strategic Maneuver. The Crypto Clearance daughter remains undefeated and wins the Matron. Then, of course, the Hare is upset in the Juvenile. Here you see the finish, and what a great Super Saturday it's been. Super Saturday at Belmont Park has been brought to you by Budweiser, fresh, pure, natural, proud to be your bud. By the DeBartolo Corporation, leading the way to the 21st century. By King Cobra, the king of oversized irons and woods. Oversized confidence, oversized power. And by the Thoroughbred Racing Associations, assuring the highest racing standards. Ground transportation provided by Thrifty Car Rental. For reservations at over 700 locations worldwide, call Thrifty at 1-800-4CARS. Charts and statistics courtesy of the Daily Racing Form, America's Turf Authority. Budweiser Racing Across America is an ESPN production in association with Winter Communications. Holy Cow wins in the Futurity, then it's Star of Cozine in the Man of War, and of course Bertrando in the Woodward. So long, everyone.